Welcome to the new summer season of Gap Talk Show, bringing you the latest news from the advanced packaging industry. In case you missed last week's episode, we moved the weekly newsletter from Wednesday to Thursday.
Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter or visit our website at globaladvancedpackaging.net.
Okay, so I see there's been a lot going on right now across the world. One story that caught my attention this week is Rapidus announced a bold move to undercut TSMC this week and lure their customers towards their forthcoming AI chips, which are modeled on IBM's 2nm technology. Now, the Japanese company has plans to bring these to the market in 2027 at up to 40% less than the equivalent TSMC chips. Many industry voices view this as a risky move, especially as the plant is still under construction and the process is not yet online and verified. However, the strategy is part of the vision of Tetsuro Higashi, who's the former CEO of Tokyo Electron and current chairman of Rapidus. He was approached by IBM, who were concerned about the overdependence on TSMC in Taiwan. Japan has a strong pipeline of experienced engineers that Rapidus has been sending to IBM research labs across the world to hone their knowledge on the new 2nm process. So that's my main story, but what's been happening this week in the United States?
So this week in the US, there were several major announcements on the investment side and also on the new facility side. Bosch, for example, just received $225 million in US CHIPS Act funding to produce silicon carbide chips. And as we know, the U.S. have been trying to bolster their local semiconductor supply chains for the last several years now. So with that in mind, it's a big step forward to bring some of that to the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. It's getting harder to get that chips money as well these days. But, Bosch makes a wide range of products, I'm telling you, ranging from consumer to automotive, health and aerospace. But it's been hurting on the home front with the slowdown in the German auto industry. And it makes, to me anyway, it makes perfect sense that the German company is going to expand into this new AI market with silicon carbide chips. But this is the second big investment announcement from a German company in the last 7 days. Last week, Infineon announced the opening of course, the world's largest power semiconductor fab in Germany.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really interesting too, because I've been asked a couple times why sometimes cover silicon stories like this one, but I do think it's important to touch on these major front end stories because the work being done on that side is going to come back to packaging. So like when we have facilities like this in the US, it makes us more agile and able to develop things like advanced heat spreaders and even certain kinds of interposers without needing to rely so heavily on Asia. And also, AI and high-end applications demand larger form factors that silicon can't quite keep up with anymore. So having an SiC facility here in the US will help secure the supply chain even more.
Right. Okay. Now, speaking of advancements in the US, I saw that Apple and Broadcom are working together to increase the supply of custom silicon and wireless components over there.
Yeah, that was another big story this week. So just to summarize this, Apple announced a multi-year agreement with Broadcom to design and produce custom silicon components and wireless connectivity technologies for Apple products. And this agreement is expected to be more than 30 billion US dollars over the next 5 years. This also guarantees a more resilient US domestic supply chain for its consumer products, but it secures a stable revenue stream to expand their custom AI ASICs that are helping to power the next generation of AI. So basically, the ASICs go into the packages, and the components in the package power the data centers and so on, and it's kind of a circular thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all this increased funding around silicon, there was also another major announcement on the memory side. Micron's officially poured the concrete for its memory fab in New York. So for context, Micron is raising its US investment to $250 billion through 2035, and they're aiming to build the largest semiconductor manufacturing site in US history.
This is definitely another big announcement for the US domestic supply chain. Right now, almost all HBMs in Asia. So by bringing a large memory source here to the US, Micron is basically providing the volume needed in the country as well. So the more we have here in the US, the less we have to ship to Asia. And that's really what the focus has been lately.
Right, right. So without domestic memory fabrication of this scale, onshoring advanced packaging would be virtually impossible because you still need to ship the wafers, of course, as you just mentioned, to Asia just to stack them. Speaking of facility announcements, TSMC also announced 3 new advanced packaging fabs in Taiwan.
Some news sources said 2, others said 3. It's a little bit unclear right now. And the primary reason for these new fabs is to help ease supply chain constraints by chip manufacturing because TSMC is pretty much at its capacity. So that's really been the biggest driver of all.
And also, we've had 2 new reports come out this week, one from SEMI and one from Yole Group on the equipment side. SEMI announced that investments driven by AI are driving a projected 5-year growth surge in semiconductor equipment, most of which is driven by logic and memory, test, and packaging.
Yeah, and at the same time, Yole also recently released a new equipment report that highlights the strength of the back-end equipment market, although they did note that growth is uneven across categories. But more information about both of these reports can be found in our newsletter and on our website.
Okay, so that's it for this week. If you like the podcast, please like and subscribe on YouTube, and remember to share this with your friends in the industry.
You can watch or listen to this episode and our future podcasts on YouTube, LinkedIn, Meta, X, and all your normal podcast locations like Apple and Spotify.
And that's it until next week. Goodbye.